Hey Nesters, welcome back to Nesting Haven. Today I am going to take you along with me as I go shopping at Goodwill. I went down and went to 4 different stores. As you guys know, this is the third one I checked out, and this was the one I enjoyed the most. They had the most items, and I think you're in for a treat. I think you're going to really enjoy it. When I first walked into the thrift store, I looked over into the wall decor items. I really enjoyed this piece of artwork here that is an illustrated piece, and I love that the bird is eating out of his hands. You can look at his face and tell he enjoys the simple things of life, right? So I really thought that was quite nice. I appreciated that they had the smaller photos laying down flat, so it was very easy to sift through them. And I found this really cool piece over here. This is a Hansel and Gretel picture from the 90s, and the bummer thing about this, the corners did all have some bent in wear to them, but overall it was such a cool piece, and they only had $1 priced on it. Though this art piece looks older, you'd be surprised how many times I've come across this exact one in a thrift store. I've seen it several times in the last couple of years in various thrift stores, so it's pretty common. I would guess it was pretty mass-produced. It's always a thrill every time you pick up a picture and then move on to the next just to see if you're going to happen upon a treasure. And this pile was kind of a bust for me. There were some teddy bears and there was this bird picture on the bottom. It was kind of new, and then another one of those kind of Mary Englebright style pictures. This got me excited. It is a paint by number, and I love that it had an eagle on it. It was a little off-putting that they had stickers on the frame, but I knew that would be an easy fix. And I looked at it and I saw very closely, I could see that they hadn't painted it all the way. I don't know if you guys can see it and make it out very well, but you could still see the numbers of the paint by number. So without having the exact color match, it would have been pretty hard to fix that. So what do you guys think of this piece? I thought that was a pretty fun one. I like that they had 4 wedding couples together. I was showing my husband it. He got a laugh out of it as well. And so yeah, I just kept looking at the pictures, hoping to find a good one. There was a painting there. I didn't think it was too well done. I do like to pick up the paintings if they are nice. I did find one cross-stitch item here. It is one of those welcome signs. I've picked these up before in the past, and I wasn't very successful with reselling them in my booth. I feel like it's just something people don't really put in their homes, so I didn't opt to get it. I don't really enjoy it myself either. I did glance at the lamps super quick to see what they might have. This wooden one down here was really cool in the front. It kind of has like a cathedral look to it, and they had some brass ones there, so nothing that I was interested in. Until I looked at the top shelf, I found this Walt Disney dopey lamp. I thought it was super cute. It had a wooden base to it, and yeah, I just thought it was a really nice piece. They were asking $5 for it. You guys know me and my love for hand-painted ceramics, so I did pick this up. You guys will see that in my thrift haul. I was so excited when I saw this sitting on the floor because you know I just had to pass up that eagle paint by number, but this one was amazing. It was in perfect condition. It was painted amazingly. I saw no numbers seeping through the paint, and the subject matter is just absolutely beautiful. So I did pick this one up. Again, they went ahead and put stickers around the frame, which was kind of annoying, but it is an easy fix, so I think I'm going to do pretty good with that one. I did go back and glance at the eagle picture to show you guys a close-up of why I passed on it, because I didn't think I did a good enough job. You can kind of see the numbers there a little bit better. I was walking down towards the back to the Home Goods, and I spied these awesome pants on the end cap here. I tried to convince my husband he needed them. They were not in his size anyways, but I thought they were interesting that they were kind of Dickie style Christmas pants. Usually you see these in pajama pants or like a stretchy pant, but yeah, I thought those were pretty fun. I always like to check out the tins. They are a good seller if you find unique ones. This is the same store I picked up the Master's Voice tin with the cute little doggy on the front, and I sold that for good money, so I'm always checking them out, especially out of location areas. It seems like they have the more vintage ones a lot. My usual Goodwill kind of just has those basic ones that you could get at Walmart. I don't find the vintage ones there too often, but I always like to check them out. Someone had these bronze or faux bronze baby booties like they used to make back in the day. That was a little interesting to see. That just used as a decor. I believe you would use your actual baby's booties and get them bronze. So I guess somebody just liked that tradition and maybe couldn't have got that done themselves. This here is a vintage Homeco honey amber votive candle holder. I picked up one recently and I had set that in my cart. And then before I left the store, I checked through my cart for, just to check the overall condition of items a little bit better. That did end up having a chip on it, so I put it back, which is unfortunate because I was going to go ahead and add it and sell it as a set of 2 in my Etsy shop, but now I still just have the one. I did check out the cameras. I found this one to be kind of interesting. I am not well versed in cameras. I kind of just go by, hey, does that look cool? I feel like a lot of people like to just use them for display as decor, so the fact that it might not work, you might not be able to find film for it, is not usually that huge of an issue. If you can get them cheap enough, there's usually a market for it. I was trying to check out all of the vases. Of course, all the ones that I was interested in were above my head on the shelf, so they were hard to reach and hard to film. So I'm sorry that I couldn't quite get the angle I wanted to. This one was really pretty. I would have grabbed it, but as you could see, there was a chip on it. And yeah, I just try to keep pulling them down. These vases I find very difficult to clean. I do like the looks of the milk glass ones, but they are always filthy, and I don't like reselling them like that. I know there are some tricks to getting those clean. I've heard of shaking rice in them and things like that, and I suppose I should get to trying that because I do have some in my own collection I would like to try that on. So what you are seeing me do here is moving a bunch of vases because I spied this interesting looking vase in the back. After I did all that work to move all the breakables out of the way, it ended up being plastic. I couldn't tell because it was above my head. I couldn't get a great look at it, but I just assumed since it was black and usually they put the glassware with the glassware, it was going to be a black vase, black glass vase, but no, it was plastic and I was super disappointed in it. They had another section where they kept the photo frames. I wasn't expecting much in this section walking up to it. These caught my eye right away, the magnetic refrigerator magnets. These are from the 1980s, and I remember these being on my grandparents' fridge. So those made me smile, and I did pick those up. And then I was surprised to see this picture back here, because it looked to be all photo frames, so I don't know if someone had just stuck it in there or what, but I thought it was a really beautiful piece, and I didn't notice that hole in the top there that they put right through it when I picked it up. I did purchase it, and when I got it home, I was wondering to myself if I did that in transit or if it was like that, but sure enough, it was like that in the store. I just loved the image so much, I didn't bother to check it over as well as I should have, but I will keep it. I really enjoy it. I had a very difficult time looking at this back wall aisle. The store was so busy and people were pretty rude. They were always bumping into me, or they would say excuse me, and they basically just wanted to look in the same spot I was looking at. And I don't know if people have forgotten shopping etiquette or what, but generally if someone's standing there looking at something, they're shopping, they got there first, they're looking at it, so I don't really understand why people feel the need that they can push people out of the way to get in there and get what they want, before them. So I don't know. I don't understand it. But I did find a couple cool things. I'm always drawn to these vintage iron trivets, especially if they have United States souvenir memorabilia on it. I had just got excused out of the way, so I don't know how much of the items I missed back there. I was trying to figure out where I was looking, but I did find a few cool things, and eventually the crowds left me alone so I could check some things out a little bit better. This broccoli shaker cracked me up. I like the little face on it. I'm always amazed at all the different types of ceramic molds that were out there. This was a very pretty mother's plaque that had some roses on it. I thought it was really done nicely. I just don't know if it would be a big seller. I don't think mothers are really putting things like that on their walls too much these days. A lot of people are kind of just keeping it simple, right? So I opted to leave it behind. I just thought it was just a little bit too specific. Let me know in the comments below if you guys use bookends. I see them often. A lot of times I only see them by themselves. They won't have a complete match. I always think they look really neat, but I don't really use them myself personally. I just have bookcases and bookshelves, and I don't really have a need for them. So yeah, definitely let me know if you guys still use Bookends. More adorable hand-painted ceramic molds. I thought these ones were really stunning. I loved little boy and girl. They have this beautiful leaf design around the border of it, which I don't typically see them framed out so nicely, and they just had amazing color to them. Of course, those went into my cart. They had this beautiful art glass bowl, but there was a barcode on the bottom of it, so it wasn't too old. So I opted to put it back because of that reason there. This was an interesting dish. It had this kind of cinched in ruffle, and I always find amber glass. I like other colors, and I just don't sell the amber glass as much. They kind of just sit, so I'm not trying to be picking up amber glass too much these days unless it's very unique or I know for a fact it's worth good money. I liked this little clown here. He was quite adorable. I had him in my cart for a little bit. I did put him back because I found a few chips on him, but if the chips weren't there, I definitely would have got him. I found this bird bath up on the top shelf, and they had it priced $5. My reasoning for putting it back, I saw the Made in China sticker, and I like to sell vintage, right? But I kind of wish I got that now. It was very beautiful, and I probably could have just sold it here locally if I didn't want to put it up on Etsy or eBay, so it's kind of a bummer. I wish I would have grabbed that. I was pointing out that she was missing her wings there. Had she had the wings, I would have picked her up. Super cute. And I thought this might be a little Alice in Wonderland, but you could see she had a chip on the side of her, something that went with her, perhaps a rabbit was missing, so I did not get that either. I found this adorable wooden clock on the bottom shelf here, and I put it in my cart, but there was quite a few flaws on there. Ultimately, I had to make that decision to put it back down because I'm just trying to be more picky about not picking up things that are damaged. And even though most of it was on the back there, it looked like it had been cracked and re-glued, and that was just a big turnoff for me, so I put it back. More bookends, they were kind of neat, but again, I just don't know if people are really using the bookends. I haven't sold them a whole lot. This pool ball clock caught my eye. I could tell balls were going to be hanging, but oh my gosh. Yeah, so I gently was said, oh, that's not any better. So I put the balls down. I put the balls down so I wouldn't break anything. And I was glancing it over, trying to see if it was all in good condition and whatnot. It was just kind of awkward. It's probably one of those things that I could have made decent money on, but I wasn't sure if I'd be able to ship it without it breaking. So I put it back. There was a few chips on it, I believe, as well. I almost picked up this milk glass planter. I think someone would have really enjoyed it. The planters are definitely the best sellers, more so than the vases. And there was just this small chip here on the scalloped edge, so I put it back. Had it been on the bottom, it might not have bothered me as much, but the top there, I just really wasn't a fan. I don't like, you know, the idea of someone putting a plant in and watering and maybe cutting their finger on it or something, so definitely not worth it to me. I checked out a few more of the milk glass pieces on the top shelf. I know you guys like to see them. I really like this one here. They had it priced at $2, which is a fantastic price for milk glass. This here caught my attention because of the vintage packaging, of course. And what it is a container inside. It came as a whole kit where you could make your own things like cheddar cheese, yogurt, sourdough starter, and cheddar cheese? Cottage cheese? I don't know which one I said. But yeah, I thought that was really neat. And of course, no thrift store trip is complete until you save the blue-billed goose, right? So I found a set of 6 glasses down here on the bottom shelf. They're marked $1 a piece. And I happened to find 2 more in a little bit, you'll see. So I got a total of 8 glasses, which was great. I love the looks of this vintage iced tea glass. The issue with this was the gold rim around the top had flaking issues, and I don't typically pick it up if the gold is coming off of it. I know some people will pick them up and they will scrape the gold off just to bring it down to clean glass, which maybe I will try to do. I just don't really like messing with the original, you know, the way the glass was originally, but you know, hindsight, it might end up in the landfill if I don't start saving these things, so maybe I should go ahead and give it a try and give it a new life. This here is a Anchor Hawking little juice glass. I love the citrus pattern on it, it would look really nice with a lot of the vintage pictures I like to collect that are anchor hooking as well, so I did grab that as well. I super love that mustache glass, and here are the Blue-Bowed Goose glasses that went with that set. They had gotten broken up, but I put them back together, and I was happy to be able to get a couple more to add to the set. This was a beautiful pottery vase on the end cap here. It's put out by Ard Code. It's a vintage Japan piece. I love how they were able to create a fruit design on it where it is 3D, kind of Majolica looking. I had found some Old Town Blue Corelle bowls here on the bottom. They had 2 of them, only priced at $1. I had set them in my cart. I didn't check them over to see the scratches too well. Down here it was kind of dark, and after I could get them up in the light I could see it was scratched pretty badly on the inside, so I did end up putting them back. But while they were in my cart, this lady grabbed them out of my cart and she said, "I haven't seen this design before," and I was just kind of like, ay, people have no respect for people's personal space anymore. It kind of shocked me, really. I had quite the challenging time with just other customers in the store today. That was my biggest challenge, but overall, I really enjoyed the store, and I hope you guys enjoyed this part 1. Part 2, I found some really great stuff and a couple of Holy Grail items that I have for my own collection, so I hope you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel, and you can check it out tomorrow when I share part 2 to this thrift along with me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.